How you doing? I'm just quickly documenting the steps I'm following to replace the ignition switch in my 2005 SSR. The ignition switch is a common problem area with these trucks, and if you don't replace it, you're going to wind up having to replace it sooner or later. From what I understand, they didn't start replacing these switches until midway through the 2005 model year, and they can be the cause of a lot of different problems. So anyways, I'm following Dicktator's guide off of the SSR Fanatics forum. First thing I did is I disconnected the positive battery connection right there on the passenger side of the engine bay. And the next thing I did was I removed the tilt lever handle just by pulling it out. I had to pull pretty hard, but it came right out. Next thing I'm doing is removing two Torx screws that are holding the lower steering column cover on. If this has been dug into before, these screws might not even be there, but in my case I don't think it's ever been touched, so I have two screws to remove. Okay, I got the cover for the lower half of the steering column off. That's not easy. I use my plastic prying tools to assist me. And the object is to not break these tabs off, and I managed to not break them. But it certainly is not exactly easy to pop off there. It's going to take a little bit of determination. But basically, once you have it pop loose in the front, if you lift on the back end to give clearance to the tabs and then kind of push forward, that's how I eventually got it off. Okay, just cut the little tie wrap that was here, as indicated in the instructions. And then next you're supposed to just kind of pull this out a little bit gently to give you some slack. Okay. Okay, actually they say you're supposed to pull these down below this channel and just kind of get them out of the way down there. Okay, to drop the switch out, you put your little screwdriver in here, flathead screwdriver in here, and in here there's little tabs. You push those in on either side, and then your switch will release. Just like that. There's a little J hook on the back of the switch with the wires are routed underneath. You want to take it out from underneath that J switch, or I'm sorry, J hook. Okay, I was farting around with getting this switch off the harness for 5-10 minutes till I figured out it wasn't all that hard. Take a small screwdriver, put it in here right above the little tab that holds it in place, and then you wedge it in between there, and pry down, and then it will push the tab in, and then you can release the switch. See, it's very easy that way. I was trying to like kind of get underneath it and like push the thing in, and that didn't work very well. You notice the old switch is all black. This new switch is gray on the one side. So I got this switch from Dicktator, so I'm assuming that it's the right one, because Dicktator knows what he's talking about. Okay, then I took my thumb and I went this direction until I could feel the spring resistance, which is the start position. So, as outlined in the instructions. Okay, before pushing the new switch back up into place, I made sure the wires were behind the J-hook on the new switch. Okay, take the switch and push it up until it clicks. New switch is now in place. Okay, just in case I messed anything up, I'm going to test it now with the bottom half of the steering column cover off. You know, because if I mess something up, I just got to take it apart again anyway. So let's give it a try, see what happens. truck started, that's good. Okay, I just demonstrated one of the gotchas with this. Dick mentions in the instructions that you need to make sure that the key is in the run position for this entire job. I thought I had it in the run position. I must not have. So when I put everything back together and I turned the truck off, the generator light was on, or the battery light was on, because it wasn't actually all the way off, so I didn't have the key indexed in the right position. So the fix was basically just popping the switch back down, putting the key in the right position, putting it back up, and now it works like it should. Stuff goes off when you open the door. That wasn't happening either, like the radio was staying on even when I opened the door. But now, we're good. So that's it basically. I just need to put those wires back, put the cover back on, which I don't really need to illustrate for you. But that's how I replaced the ignition switch in my 2005 SSR. I think you can do it too. To me, the hardest part of this was getting this bottom steering column cover on and off. I have it back on, but the fit's not that great. Not real happy about that, but I'll have to mess with it a little bit, see if I can get it to snap in a little bit better. But that's it.